What up? What up? What up? We are DV. Today is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. And I'm grateful to be here. I'm thankful for you, for any one of you guys that decided to show up and click on this and watch this and see what the fuck we talking about. I appreciate it. I'm very much grateful for you. I'm grateful to be here.
Today we are chilling out here on the bluff, you know,
Shit, lounging.
catching some air, good vibes,
That's lounging and chilling at the same time.
enjoying our health. And speaking of health, I got a question. Are you, let me say it to you closer, are you trading your health for this right here? Are you trading your health for money? Because if you look around, there's a lot of people doing it. I myself have been known to do it, especially with this hustler mentality that I have, right? I'm sure you know somebody that is doing it if you're not the one doing it. And what we're going to discuss today is some of the things that are, harmful to that type of mentality and that type of way of living.
Yeah, we're talking about trading in your health in exchange for money. Basically, like, if you're the kind of person that's got this, I gotta get money, I got money, I gotta get it, I have to have it, like, I'll sleep when I'm dead type mentality, like you work 2 full-time jobs or you work a lot of doubles every time they say, hey, will you work or you stay an extra hour, and you can't say no, but you're probably likely tired all the time. Yeah, you're getting money, but half the time you're always at work, so you don't have no time to spend it with anyone, to spend it on anyone, barely yourself. Only thing you got time to do is go to sleep, go back to work. And the reality is, the downside of doing that is that it's gonna negatively affect your health. At the end of the day, one day, your body's gonna shut down. It's not designed to not sleep that much. Your body's not designed to be working all night and sleeping all day, every single day.
Right.
I know it for a fact because I did it. My first year of moving here, I was just happy to get up off the streets, get in a fucking place, my own place, and pay some bills like a normal person. And when they offered me overtime constantly, I literally was work Monday through Sunday. I would go to work, I would work 11 to 7. And then as soon as I get up at 7 a.m., well, not get up, but get ready to get off at 7 a.m., they offer me more hours. So I'm staying there. Sometimes I wouldn't even take a shower. I just worked there throughout the day. So it was like I was practically living at work. I worked in a field where, it was a group home setting. So I'm working in home. So that home became damn near my second home.
Right.
So yes, I was making a lot of money, but I barely got to see the sunlight. I barely got to talk to anybody. I didn't have much of a social life. I didn't sleep like a regular person. And I started to see it all over myself, like the lack of sleep and the lack of mental clarity started taking a toll on my body. I just felt terrible. Like it was like the norm to always be exhausted, because the reality is, even after working all them hours, life don't stop. The day don't stop. You still got to pay bills. You got errands to run. You know what I mean? Do the best you can.
You only got 24 hours in the day.
24 hours.
So think about it. If you're working a double shift like I did just recently, 16 hours in a day. How much more time do I have to myself or to handle anything else I need to take care of? Because you got 16 right there, you're working. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to let you do the math, but there ain't a whole lot of time in between with 24 hours to really do what you need to do to maintain your health, right? That's what we're talking about, is maintaining your health, your health and just your own personal fulfillment, There's not a lot of room, there's not a lot of time for that. Not a lot of room for that when you're working, when you're putting work ahead of everything else. When you're putting money ahead of everything else. Let me say that. And that's a tricky thing, because I understand, especially if we're talking about living here in America, in a society that's capitalistic, that's the way of life. It seems like that's the only way to get around, to get along in this world. So I'm not saying I have honestly, I'm not even, in this video, I'm not necessarily saying I have the answers to this one, because I don't. I'm gonna say it right now, right off the rip, I do not have the answers to this. still trying to figure it out. But that's why we're talking about this, because maybe you do. You can leave some comments in the video right now and let me know if you have some answers to this, because I'm open to it. I'd like to know, because I'm trying to figure it out.
Does that work for you? I mean, if you're working multiple jobs, if you're working lots of hours, you're working double shifts, Monday through Sunday or Monday through Friday, what do? How do you get the sleep you need? How do you stay healthy through all that? Because it's an unnatural thing.
Right.
Yes, you're adapting and you're trying to make it normal. I said the same thing. I did that for a year. But I felt my mentality starting to, not my mentality, my mental health starting to, a little bit, because I was like, you start forgetting what day it is. And you have no sense of the day anymore, no sense of time, no sense of what's going on around you, because you're just out of touch. You know what I'm saying? It was a weird feeling.
Here's a personal story for mine. A long time ago, but I remember the first time we moved to St. Louis from Los Angeles. I had moved to St. Louis with the mentality of, I'm just gonna get money. I'm gonna focus on building my finances up, and I'm gonna do it by any means necessary, and I'm not gonna let anything distract me. I'm not gonna do anything else. That's my only goal there, is to get financially stable, right? And be financially successful through whatever means I had to do it at. So the first thing I did was, once I moved it there, I got 2 jobs. One was in the daytime and one was at night. It was an overnight job. So right there, you got 8 hours in the day, and I was working overnight, so I was working a little bit, and I was working a little bit overtime too with that one, so over 8 hours. So right there, you got over 16 hours already, right? Within a 24-hour period. Then I had the nerve to get a girlfriend. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Why? Because that took up time too. That required time that I didn't have, right? We're talking about your health here, right? So I'm not getting much sleep as it is, right? I'm getting a little bit of sleep, just enough to go to sleep, eat, shower, use the bathroom, do what I gotta do. There is no other time to do laundry. There is no other time to do all these other things that a person needs to do on a daily to maintain a healthy life, right? I'm not getting time to do none of that stuff. Working out, the only working out I got in, I remember back in the day, was I would run to work. I would run to work because I lived around the corner, so I would run to work. So I got that in. That was close. That's about as good as it got, But on top of that, because I was so tired, I didn't feel that I had the time or energy to cook anything. So I was eating not unhealthy food, quick, fast stuff that was unhealthy, and cheap food, because I was trying to stack up money, because that was the whole point of having 2 jobs, correct? Trying to save money. So I had a girlfriend, so I'll tell you, we had a lot of arguments about how I would we'd be watching a movie, because we didn't have time to go to do dates and shit like that. So we would sit at my house or her house, and we watch a movie or something, and I'd be falling asleep in the middle of the fucking movie, trying to be romantic and shit, and here I am snoring and shit.
You fell asleep fucking one time?
Man, yes. Wasn't gonna speak on that, but since we speaking on it,
yeah,
definitely did.
God damn.
Imagine that. I'm not bullshitting. I really did that. We were in the middle of fucking. One time I fell asleep in the middle of fucking.
You said in the middle of fucking.
Yes. And it felt like a chore. That's the thing. That's really what's fucked up. Having sex felt like a chore at that moment because I was so goddamn tired. So talk about how putting money ahead of your health, how trading your health for money can really affect you. It did. You know what I'm saying? I was fairly young. Like, I'm still fairly young. But I was even younger then. I was 27, 28 years old back then. And it was horrible, man. I felt horrible. I just felt like I was getting older by the day,
Kind of are with lack of sleep.
100%. 100%. And, it was a bad look for me, especially with the girl that I was with at the time. It wasn't her fault. I understood, but I think back then I'm realizing maybe I should have been more, I should have told her, I should have been more upfront about what my goal was when I got there. My goal was not to even get into no love. I got with her, honestly, I consciously got with her because I thought it was going to be an easy situation. I was like, hey, some pussy every now and then, and a companion to hang out with. That's all I want to do. I should have told her that's all I want. Because honestly, obviously, she deserved more and she wanted more. But I couldn't give her more. That's all I wanted at that time, So, and I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have got into a relationship, obviously. But that's beside the point. The bigger point I'm trying to say is I was trading money for health. I traded money for health, and it didn't. It was a bad decision.
The question is, I mean, does it work? It works, but does it work? You know what I mean? Like,
It works,
yeah,
but it
you
doesn't
get
work.
the bills paid and
You get
shit,
the bills
but-
paid, right? But I was unhappy. I was depressed, tired. You know, I'm sure there was more.
Oh, there she is again.
Yeah.
There she goes again. The dopest Ethiopian.
All right, we're distracted.
Oh my God.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
so
so-
the over trading your health for trading your health for money, and that's what I did. And it was just a really enlightening experience for sure. I definitely learned from it, but yet I'm still slightly doing it now. If I'm being honest, I'm still slightly doing it now. I'm still a little more picky when I choose to do overtime. I still take days off when I need it to work out, try to do some of the things that maintain my health, my body, my physical health, my mental health. You know, I really should meditate more like I used to every single day. But within the last couple of, I'd say about 6 to 8 months, I haven't been doing it every day like I used to.
Yeah, I've been slacking on my meditations too, big time.
Yeah.
Lately, I just been on the go, not like really taking the time to kind of settle in.
That used to be my everyday. I used to not leave the house without meditation.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I got to get back to because I felt my best doing that. So that's something that. So I'm saying that to say, if you're living that kind of life, and I'm sure a lot of us are, if you're living that kind of life, if you're not, great, good for you. Like, please let me know right now in the comments. How do I get out of that rut like that? How do I get away from that lifestyle?
What we're saying is like, how do you make it work for you financially at the same time without the cost of your fucking health?
Right.
How do you do that? Is
Right.
that possible?
Yeah.
And if you are doing it, how do you do it?
Yeah.
How is it working? Let us know.
Let us know in the comments because I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to have this is a real deal discussion right here.
Yeah.
We're not just talking at you. I want a real conversation about this, you know?
Because I know a lot of people who are living like this, you know, and like I said, at the end of the day, it's not sustainable. The body's not meant to be going that way. I mean, yeah, it's good for the job. They're making plenty of money off your sweat, your energy. But meanwhile, you don't get to see your kids because you're always at work. You don't get to chill with your kids because you're always at work.
Imagine.
You don't. Sometimes some of us don't even get to fucking tell our kids I love them as often as we should.
Right. I
because
don't even
we're
have
always at work.
kids. So what about the people who have kids? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Those of you who have children,
You know?
I can't imagine.
It's the small things that matter in life. Say you got your kids a pet. You don't even know the dog because you're always at work. Kids know it though.
Right.
Dog looking at you like you're a fucking stranger because you're barely home.
Like in that movie.
You're fucking crazy.
That movie Click. You guys
Right.
seen Click?
what's that
Adam
movie?
Sandler movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he worked all the time, you
Yeah.
know, but he was trying to be successful
Right.
financially.
Yeah.
But the dog didn't know him, the kids didn't know him. He
Yeah.
missed out on the kids growing up.
Right.
You know what I mean? By the time he came back, he realized the kids were grown. The little
And then-
daughter was a grown one, with a teenage girl.
So you have to consider, man. Like you have to ask yourself this question: Is it worth missing all those moments in life, those things that really matter to you the most? You know, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with doing what you got to do. But I suggest have a plan. Don't just be doing it because you just out of survival. You working 2 jobs, busting your ass out of survival, because then that's all you're gonna be. It's gonna be a hamster on a wheel, and then you're gonna slowly more and more just be unhappy. It's eventually gonna start showing. It's gonna start showing in weird ways like depression, anxiety, and then you'll start being, you know, you'll resent certain people and certain things because you got this thing you have to do to survive. You gotta pay these bills. You got to keep a roof over your head, so you do what you got to do. But meanwhile, your spirit's still like, I got things I want to do. Things
Yeah.
that we were supposed to do when we came here, but you can't do it because you're focused on survival.
Right.
Working 2 jobs, working hella doubles all the time.
Being stuck in survival mode.
Yeah.
Instead
So,
of, you're surviving instead of thriving.
yeah. So the only thing I can say practically is basically, like I said, have a plan and like give yourself a certain amount of time that you're gonna do it for. Like I did. I said I'll do this for about a year. I can dedicate a year to this, and I did just about a little over a year. You know what I mean? Of doing it. But I eventually just switched gears. I ended up having to take less money, but I still made it all work out. You know, it ain't easy. It wasn't easy, but it's still better than what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like having no social life. Not to mention not a sex life, because you can't talk to people. Barely even, like, the only time I had to literally come from work, straight home, get myself together, maybe an hour or 2 to sleep, maybe. And if I sleep too long, I'm gonna miss my bus back home. I'm back to work. You know what I'm saying?
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think for men, that's even worse because I heard lack of sleep fucks with your
Fuck with your testosterone levels and shit.
Right.
Throw your whole
right,
shit off.
Right. I don't know about for women, but for men, it's a definite thing. And I felt it. We won't get into details, but I felt it for sure. You know,
Fuck that, man.
I felt it before in the past. You know, that's horrible.
That's why I mean, like, I had a convo with myself. Like I said, I got tired of complaining about it and realized, look, the only way this is going to change is if I do something different. And I was like, I didn't want to have to take a pay cut. You know, I knew what my options were, but I had to eventually ask myself, which one's more important to me, my health? I started seeing it. I would look in the mirror and be like, Jesus Christ. You know, maybe nobody else did, but I definitely did. And I was like, I don't want this to be my normal. To be feeling like this, looking like this. You know, it's like it would start to affect me in all kinds of ways. I was like, I don't want this to be some shit like a lot of people just accept it and they're like, this is what it is. I guess, but not me, man. I made a decision and I definitely had to deal with what came behind it, and I'm willing to. Again, if it means that I can have some sort of peace internally, you know, because that's all we got at the end of the day. You know,
True.
We don't have no promise of the other shit. That's all good. It sounds good. We can hope for the best. But I know now is what I'm at. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. So I'll be fucking damn if I at least get a little bit, most of what I want out this shit.
You know, thinking about it, like, you know, with dad just recently dying, I think about more and more about what he would say about a situation.
You know what
like
he would
that.
say.
Yeah.
He told me the same shit, but I already knew it. But, you know, it's like I expected him to say it. And I knew eventually, I was like, because I teeter-totted on the idea of actually switching gears like that for that whole time. But
Yeah.
after a few days of some good ass sleep and seeing the sun, shit, I realized, I was like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. You know, having time to go take care of your own personal goals and needs and wants, as opposed to only serving someone else's.
Yeah, and that's the killer, right? 'Cause let's
That's what you're doing.
say you die. Let's say you're in the hospital and you're about your deathbed the next day, and you're thinking to yourself, man, I spent all this time making these motherfucking rich and fulfilling their dreams, and I didn't do any of that. And now here I am on my deathbed about to die.
Mm-hmm.
I built nothing. I built nothing for my kids. I built nothing for me.
That's not what you want.
You know.
That's why I was like, it's imperative if you are in this situation to take some time and come up with a plan on what you want and how you think you're going to get there. Realistically, come up with a plan. Get to the details of it. Don't obsess over the details. Don't get obsessed. Do that too long, you'll fucking halt your own. You won't do it. Just come up with an idea and try it. See if it works. If it puts you in the direction of getting out of that fucking pattern, go.
So then it's worth it.
Keep going. Yes, it's worth it.
So yeah, so I guess as I guess to kind of wrap it all up, it might actually be worth it if you have a plan.
It is.
If you have a plan,
It got me up off my situation.
yeah,
I went from the homeless shit to got me a spot, you know what I mean? Could
Yeah.
have bought a car, but I was like, fuck it. I got everything else I need. You know, I'm not in a rush to do it. I still can, you know, I'm still
Right.
getting it. So, but you know, at the end of the day, I came a long way from sleeping on a pissy concrete shit, you know? Now I got an actual place that I call my own, you know what I mean? With a bed, you know, and clothes and shit. Take a shower, all that good shit.
don't do like me then. I'm just saying, because my experience with that was I just wanted to stack up, which is what I did. But then I had no time to spend it. I had no time to enjoy it. I had no time to enjoy anything. I just was making money, and that was it. That was because I had no plan. I had a very vague plan, we'll say that.
Right.
The only plan was stack up money. That's it.
That's what I said too at first.
That was it. I should have had more of a more defined plan. So what I'm saying is, if you're gonna do this hustle thing, if you're gonna trade your health for money, make sure it's short term and make sure it's organized.
Yeah.
It's an organized plan about what you're gonna do when you get it.
Right.
You know, because there's always gonna be a next step once you get. Because you'll get there. Once you get there, then what? Then what?
Right.
You know, because I didn't have a then what.
Yeah.
So
You gotta think about the
I
then
just
what.
crashed and burned. That's all I
Yeah.
did.
So when you come up with a plan, you start planning what you're gonna conquer, what your goal is gonna be, what your adventure is gonna be. Think about the then what. What's the end game?
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't just be I'm gonna get money. Okay, maybe at first, but then you gotta think about what to do with it, and then how you can keep getting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't keep falling into this pattern of up and down, win, loss, wins, loss, like I used to do. You know,
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well,
So yeah, at the end of the day, do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. Do it for the people who love you. Do better. Choose better. Think of a way to get there. Come up with a plan.
if you do know somebody that might actually find any kind of value, any kind of help in this video, which I hope you do, please share it with them. Please like this video. And please, most of all, subscribe to this channel so we can stay connected with you and keep giving you this type of stuff. Keep having these kind of conversations. Because we're not just talking at you, we're actually having a conversation. We're connecting, right? That's the purpose of all this, really. So, with that said,
yeah, I love you. And I love myself. But I'm able to love you because I love myself. So love yourself for yourself.
I'm down.